Welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam Smith, and inside this game unboxing video, I'm excited to be checking out the latest game coming from Chip Theory Games. This is Wroth. For those unfamiliar with Wroth, it is a fast-paced, neon-drenched battle for control where unique factions clash across a vibrant fantasy world. Wroth combines tight dice drafting, asymmetric powers, and a streamlined area control to deliver a strategic punch in under an hour. Whether you're outmaneuvering rivals in head-to-head play, or you're tackling scenario-driven solo challenges, which of course is my interest, every turn feels bold, tense, and impactful. If you're into sharp tactics, striking art, and games that get to the action fast, Wroth brings the heat. Now that we understand what Wroth is all about, the main box sits in the center here with two expansions you can pick up on the sides. Without further ado, we're going to dive into this main box. I'm going to show you all the game components up close to help you make an informed decision on it, and I'll also show you each of the expansions as well. The first thing you'll run into when you open up the box is this pamphlet here telling you can skip the rulebook if you wish using the Dized app to learn how to play the game. I'll put this off to the side for now, and you can see the rulebook, the version, of course, 1.0. In just a moment, I'll take you through the rulebook to show you how things are structured and laid out inside, but first wanted to show you the rest of the box at a high level here. You can see the Neoprene Mat inside. The colors of this game, very vibrant, as you're going to see. Dice inside the classic CTG dice trays that have accompanied many of the games from them, as well as you've got some reference cards here we'll take an up-close look at, and then below that, more dice trays, and of course, Neoprene Mats galore throughout the rest of the box. We're going to go ahead and pull all this stuff out and take a look at it up close, but we'll start with the rulebook. When you crack open the rulebook, you're going to find a full section around the summary of the game, but we'll move past that to the modes of play. There are two different modes of play for Wroth. The first one is the standard mode, which is the PvP mode, where 2 to 4 human players each control a faction and then square off against each other. And the second is the solo cooperative mode, which is what I'm focused on here, and that's going to allow 1 to 4 human players working together to fight a single AI faction. As it mentions right there on the bottom of the rulebook, it tells us for solo and cooperative mode, you start by first learning the standard mode of play, and then you refer to the specific rule differences at the start of page 14 for solo cooperative play. Here we see a listing of the factions within the game, most of them included inside the base box, but 2 of them are included in separate expansions that we saw at the beginning of the video. Next up, you have a full list of components on the left-hand side to make sure you have everything you need to get going with Wroth, and on the right-hand side, a table diagram showing you visually how things lay out on the table, and it starts the setup at the very bottom portion with the first 2 steps. On pages 8 and 9, you get the tail end of the setup, which has you deploying your starting troops and determining your starting player, and then of course talks about what the troops are all about, and Cora as well. Then it gets into the game structure, the game rounds, and they have broken up into multiple phases. Phase 1 is maintenance, Phase 2 is spoils, Phase 3 is groundwork, and Phase 4 is draft. You'll see there's lots of white space inside the rulebook, so this thing is not crammed, and it's a nice size. I'd say it's a little bit below average in terms of the size of the rulebook. The final 2 phases are the actions phase and the victory point phase. The game has an interesting region order, which you can see up here, and the Shores region is actually a single large region that surrounds the map's central plateau and touches all 4 edges of the map, as it states here. It also tells you about the deployment zones that tie into those shore regions and gets into multi-region moves and feat cards, and then of course attacking and dealing damage, gathering troops, moving, and deploying. The solo and cooperative mode shows up on page 14. You'll see the key components you'll need as well as the setup instructions for it specific to this mode, and there's 4 major steps that actually follow the same 4 standard steps that you saw earlier, but again, there's unique differences here with this mode, so you want to do a check on that. And the scenario card anatomies here off to the right-hand side to get used to these cards. Pages 16 and 17 have a full breakdown on the threat as well as the game structure for solo and cooperative, so you have the phases all broken out here. And a key focus of this section is going to be around the AI faction, how it operates, how it flows. You can see on the right-hand side, it even shows how the AI factions are going to spend Cora, as well as how the factions deal damage and gather troops. Overall, the game has a light rulebook. It has 18 pages in total. With the rulebook out of the way, we'll now focus on the Neoprene Mats inside the box. I'll take them out and lay them out so you can see them fully. Now here's a look at the Neoprene Mat inside the box. This is the main play area for the game. You can see vibrant colors throughout. Certainly catches the eye and definitely has table presence in terms of the colors used across this. And you'll see that same artistic flair in the VP Tracker playmat on the right here, as well as the faction dashboards. So that's a look at the faction mats as well as the VP tracker mat. You can see the stitched edging all the way along it. That is something we've become very accustomed to with Chip Theory Games and all of their products. They've always done a great job of making sure the edges of all the neoprene mats will never fray. And of course, that also just makes the colors stand out even more as they went insanely neon with all of these, and they look really good. With the neoprene mats out of the way, let's dive back inside the box to the final components here. You'll see a number of dice trays we talked about before with some dice in it. I'll show you all these up close, as well as underneath of this, you're also going to see some of the different faction markers, and we're going to go through those as well. Underneath this dice tray, you'll see more. So there's all kinds of spots for storage in this thing, and ensures that everything gets back inside the box and is nice and organized. That's going to do it for the base box. Let's now check out this expansion to enhance your experience with Wroth. As we learned earlier in the video, inside the rulebook, this is an expansion that brings a new faction into the fray. So, of course, you're going to have yourself a faction playmat. This is double-sided. I'll show you both sides in just a second. You got the cards for the faction, as well as the dice specific to them, and also the troops. That's going to do it for this faction expansion. Let's check out the second one. Now, you likely already put this together, but essentially you can take both of these expansion boxes and toss them, take the components and place them all inside the base box. There's enough room inside to store everything in just the one box. This faction's got some pretty cool colors. Let's take an up-close look at each of the components. That's going to wrap up the second faction you can add into your game of Wroth, and again, keep all of it inside of the base box. This is all of the gameplay that has been released for Wroth to date. So if you have these two expansions and the base game, you've got all the gameplay elements. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up my game unboxing video for Wroth, coming from Chip Theory Games. Let me know in the comments down below if you're enjoying this one. Do you already have this one on the table? Are you playing it? What are your thoughts on it? Do you like it, dislike it? Let me know in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts, and the community would as well. Thanks again for watching. If you're not a part of the Discord or the Facebook group, we'd love to have you there to have conversations about solo gaming at all times. And as always, keep on rolling solo.